Welcome to the A to Z Futurism video playlist. Specifically, we are starting alpha numerically from 0 to A and then A to B. This video is primarily focused on the year 2077 CE. 2077 10 Seconds to the Future is a series of approximately hour-long documentaries. Imagining planet Earth in the future. Can we become a multi-planet species with a lifespan greater than now? How likely is human life going to be replaced by computers? With continuous discoveries in nanotechnology, our constant thirst for knowledge and our advancement in technological expertise, our relation to robots once they are more cognitively aware of their environment, will be different. We are entering an age where it will soon be difficult to differentiate between the physical and the digital. The next few decades will undergo the biggest and fastest transformations ever. This includes how we use technology, science and interpersonal relations. The description of 2077 10 Seconds to the Future suggests that we are living in a scientific accelerator with irreversible consequences where our choices today will change the world of tomorrow. The documentary focuses heavily on the aid of influential personalities in the global society, such as theoretical physicists, pathologists and geopolitical forecasters. They attempt to address several unanswered questions concerning the future. This documentary series is a journey which connects the present with the past to show us how we can influence the future. The series includes mutation, global estrangement, new nomads and an unquenchable thirst. The series is available on YouTube and DVD. Exponential change is often known as exponential growth. Exponential growth is a process that increases quantity over time. The description of exponential growth is that it occurs when the instantaneous rate of change, the derivative of a quantity with respect to time, is proportional to the quantity itself. Additionally, exponential growth is described as a function. A quantity undergoing exponential growth is an exponential function of time. The variable representing time is the exponent. Biological exponential growth is the unrestricted growth of a population of organisms, occurring when resources in its habitat are unlimited. It occurs in species that reproduce quickly and asexually. Like bacteria, exponential growth is hazardous if left unchecked from the fact that each organism can divide and produce two copies of itself. Each descendant bacterium can itself divide, again doubling the population size in the bacterium Escherichia coli, under optimal conditions, may divide as often as twice per hour. It is said that if this bacteria is left unrestricted, a colony would cover the Earth's surface in less than a day. However, exponential growth with linear or limited food supplies and other resources may result in a population to die off. Malthusianism is the theory that population growth is potentially exponential while the growth of the food supply or other resources is linear, which eventually reduces living standards to the point of triggering a population die-off. See Malthusianism in this A to Z for further details about predictions of the future. Dematerialization of technology. According to the documentary 2077 10 Seconds to the Future, and specifically the first part in a series, mutation, the cell phone will not be the most popular product by 2050. It is predicted that technology will be in the walls, in the clouds, on clothes, furniture and perhaps inside us. A persistent question is, how many devices are going to be connected in 2050? An appropriate estimate is 500 billion connected devices on the planet, with the view to several trillion devices. It is not absurd to think that trillion of devices is possible, but we must remember that such devices on the nanoscale is also included in the list in prediction. Artificial intelligence is general-purpose technology. It is likely to be used in personalized shopping, AI-powered assistance, fraud prevention, administrative tasks automated to aid educators, creating smart content, voice assistants, personalized learning, autonomous vehicles, medicine and health care, computerized brains, hiring and firing of labor, cybersecurity, transportation, entertainment and media, precision farming, elderly care, firefighting, hazardous jobs. For further information, see the term artificial intelligence in this A to Z guide. The sensory revolution. The sensory revolution can scan humans from their homes with integrated communications. A doctor or medical experts will know your condition, Technology integrated into homes can allow detection of diseases and allow a better quality of life. The Internet of Things (IoT) is going to boom by 2050, allowing the flow of information for better healthcare. Transportation, intelligent electronics, smart watches, television systems, home security, personal assets tracking in virtual reality. Over the past few years, IoT has become one of the most important technologies of the 21st century, and it is likely to be a massive market in the future. Robotization and universal basic income. Robots can locate themselves in our time. They are said to be level 1 of consciousness. Level 2 is emotions, and level 3 is the ability to predict the future. Humans are level 3 consciousness because we can predict likely scenarios that will happen based on our senses, intelligence, available information, or intuition. Asimo is humanity's most advanced robot made in Japan. Asimo is said to be as smart as an insect. Robots may achieve level 2 consciousness, and this would radically change how we live our lives. If robots can aid humans in hazardous jobs, this opens up a new world of super well-being for humans. Universal basic income can potentially lead to less crime, social inequality, and consumerism and materialism, as smarter food, devices, and clothes are made to promote minimalist lifestyles. This transition to sustained growth instead of an increased growth can aid in mitigating the climate change problems in the world. The desire for wealth and material possessions will not be the driving force for humans in the future, because realistically the resources have been used in the 19th century. Think tanks around the world are usually involved in futurology studies and can determine what resources should be allocated for new products and services. One of the major reasons UBI should be implemented is that people's health and well-being can improve due to reduction in crime, and more money to live a happy life. This improved health is mental, physical, and spiritual. There should not be stress on paying a mortgage, having enough food to place on a table in an economy that creates social inequality. The economy is following a law where one receives credit in return for one's work. This can change if robots are aligned with human goals and do several hazardous jobs, thus leaving time for humans to concentrate on well-being and health. Is genetic enhancement a Pandora box? It is thought within the transhumanist and posthuman thinking that the biggest change in the future may be metabolism, genetics, and biochemistry. Genetic transhumanism is frequently unnoticed in the media. Instead, it is notable that most films, documentaries, and TV programs focus on technology and dystopian films. Scientists are attempting to achieve longer lifespans through genetic enhancements. See the terms immortality and aging within this A to Z guide. Human-machine merger. The fusion or merger of humans and machines started when heart pacemakers were manufactured, prosthetics, continuous glucose monitoring, CGM, devices, and various other bionic implants. See bionics in this A to Z guide. This augmentation is mental and physical that is likely to result in telekinesis, telepathy, recorded memories, and new sensations. Recorded memories may seem science fiction and decades away, but currently we can image people's dreams. Dream tech is an ultimate goal where speculatively one can see the futures in dreams in the waking world. This is known as precognitive dreaming. With enough time and breakthroughs, such ideas of recorded memories envisioned in the game Cyberpunk 2077 may be possible. Intelligence augmentation may allow symbiosis of humans and machines. Thoughts, memories, and mental images can be sent via computers as envisioned and achieved by researchers in brain-computer interfaces (BCs). Recorded memories can potentially cure Alzheimer's and enhance people's learning ability, therefore improving intelligence. Neuralace is one example, where the goal is to learn new subjects simply by downloading information into the human brain. This type of technology can change the world, but critics argue that in 60 years from now, humanity therefore must continue to balance technology and biology. Energy demand and solar power. It is estimated that human population will increase to 10 billion in 100 years from 2.5 billion. This is leading to increased pressure in energetic needs. Estimates are by 2050 we need 60% more food, 40% more water, and 50% more energy, electricity. According to World Statistics and recent predictions, we are likely to use 80% of water on Earth, deforest 40% of the Earth, and release 23 gigatons of carbon every year. Fusion energy power generation is a great hope for humanity. It brings 35 countries together. The ultimate source of energy is said to be fusion. However, until we build fusion power plants, we still must build fission power plants as way to transition to more sustainable Sources of power and electricity generation. It is said that the radiation waste is buried underground, much of it still toxic for millions of years. Solar energy is said to be the most reliable method of energy and electricity power generation. Beaming energy from space is still in early stages. Solar panels in space is possible, but it is economically not viable at this point in time. The transition to renewable energy usually can take 50 years, but this is too slow according to climate change activists. Scientists predict that 50 years transition to renewable resources is enough time for a sustainable future. Sustainability and waste. Smart growth in food production is possible to feed people. Hunger is an ongoing problem in developing countries, whereas food waste is a major issue in developed countries. The truth is, the food in developed countries is not suitable for developing countries due to the DNA, culture, energy needs and logistical reasons. Others suggest that the food in developed countries is actually bad for any humans to consume in excess amounts. More alarmingly, there are ingredients that are harmful to humans placed into processed foods. It is estimated that 1.3 billion tons of food is wasted in Europe and USA. One has to wonder why this is happening. People who do not waste food and eat more often develop problems in health, whereas those who are health conscious appear to eat less. The waste is a contributing factor to environmental degradation. It is said in the future a circular economy is necessary to recycle and reuse food and other products. There is no circular economy in the present moment, although there is composting, recycling, and reusing. There is not economy based on reusing much of the products. It is believed that nanotechnology and 3D printing is going to play a significant role in the future to turn waste into reusable ingredients into a circular economy. An example of a circular economy is vehicles being used by everyone to move about. It is likely that most people in the year 2077 will not own a vehicle. City and migrations. By the year 2077, significant advances in nanotechnology will result in metamorphosis of materials. This metamorphosis can have the ability to change shape and purpose. This is essential in advanced manufacturing and designed to replicate what nature has been doing for millions of years. In the cities, there is likely to be nanotechnology for specific purposes in several industries. See the term nanotechnology in this A to Z guide for more information of the uses of such technology in the present time and future. In order to have a green future with trees, plants and land for animals and conserve nature, humanity will likely build taller in specific geographic areas. Cities of the future may build on existing land instead of creating new cities. These mega cities are likely to cause migrations from natural lands of nomads and tribes in the wild to cities. The major reason for the greatest migration of all time in human history will be the climate change and global warming. It is occurring in the present moment. Movements of huge numbers by the year 2077 is very likely, and there will be a great migration that is on scale never seen in human history if global warming continues at its current rate. New global order. Wars and conflicts is avoidable if nations are energetically sustainable. Nanotechnological weapons are the most destructive and can lead to ecophagy. See the term ecophagy in this AZ guide for more information. However, nanorobots can also be beneficial by keeping peace and citizens safe from harm with the touch of a button. Nanorobots that are less deadly and lethal are known as blue goo. They act as police to the more deadly gray goo. See the terms blue goo, gray goo, green goo and gold goo for more information. Experts in military warfare predict that 2050 and 2077 is the years for war that will likely occur due to tensions in the use of fossil fuels, waste, climate change, political instability and other socio-economic factors. Global estrangement, space race, emissions and sea level rise. Global estrangement and the space race. The transition to a planetary civilization is said to happen this century. We are estimated to be plus 0.72 on the Kardashev scale, and becoming a Type 1 civilization is possible within this century. A space trip may cost as much as a continental trip. A space elevator manufactured through nanotubes and the manipulation of diamond through nanotechnology may enable us to reach further into space to the moon and Mars. Curiously, it is predicted in the documentary 2077 10 Second to the Future that digital avatars are one option to explore the solar system and beyond. 2077 is the year when we might reach Mars. The first generation may live and die in space. A new way for living will occur. Transhumanist approaches to enhancement may be necessary to live in space and Mars. By the end of the century there is likely to be terraforming of Mars. Greenhouse gases pumped into Mars and strengthening the magnetic field of Mars can enable raising the temperatures, releasing water from the ice caps with new rivers. Earth life may become Mars-like, a hybrid way of living. Resource depletion. In about 100,000 years, humans started to evolve and has reached a bottleneck. Humans have caused ecological problems to the planet in such a short period of time. The 5 mass extinctions were natural, but this 6th mass extinction is man-made. See the term 6th mass extinction for further details. Oceans are filled with plastic and waste, leading to loss of biodiversity, and animal farming is a contributing factor to carbon emissions. Microplastics is in the water we drink. 30 years from now there is likely to be more plastic than fish. If the current trend or demand for plastic bottles and other plastic products continues, we are certain to face an ecological disaster. Radical technology to clean up plastic and waste must be in place now to secure a better future. Air pollution kills people, around 7 million people. 13% of all deaths are attributed to air pollution, particularly in China and India. Electric cars can only take us so far. It is thought that a hydrogen economy with scientific advancement in hydrogen fuel cells and other uses of hydrogen can clean the air and reduce air pollution. Emissions and sea level rise. Smartphones must become more efficient in the way they are made. Similarly, smart clothes, buildings and infrastructure can enable a more sustainable way to live. 2077 may enable morphing products that are only made when a customer requests it. One has to wonder, in our present time, why we make extra products that no one buys or uses. This leads to more recycling of products. This is using more electricity and resources. Instead, in 2077, efficient use of a circular economy and communication can enable a product to be made when it is requested by customers. Such morphological products are possible through great advances in nanotechnology and beyond the nanoscale. Climate scientists say that the data points to higher temperatures if current trends of consumption continue. Global warming will result in tropical diseases moving north, bigger hurricanes, higher temperatures, and an overall heating of the planet. The deserts are expanding. By the year 2077, it is estimated deserts will expand the equivalent of Belgium every year. Thus, the global estrangement is said to be very likely. Is sea level rise inevitable? This is a crucial question for climate change scientists, climate change activists, and think tanks around the world. As the ice caps melt, sea level rises, leading to flooded coastlines. Thus, migrations from such coastlines is likely. By the year 2077 to 2200, places such as Bangladesh, Manila, Philippines, Florida, New Orleans, Amsterdam, Venice, Hamburg, Maldives, 5 of the Solomon Islands, Tuvalu, Kiribati, and the 2 islands of Micronesia are disappearing slowly. In fact, 2 of the Micronesia islands have flooded and disappeared from existence. No one knows the future. This list is a basic speculative predictive forecast. 2030. ELT Extremely Large Telescope installed, most probably in the Chilean Andes region in South America. This telescope is said to be far more precise than the James Webb Space Telescope JWST. 2031. The International Space Station is deorbited. The ISS has developed significant solar radiation. 2035. Laboratory-grown meat. In vitro synthetic meat is more popular. The production does not inflict cruelty or harm to animals whilst having less environmental footprint. 2036. July 4th. Humans land on Mars. 2037. Global population reaches 9 billion. 2038. Aviation safety is at its peak. Airplane accidents are likely to be 0. 2041. Fusion power is already available. 2042. The supercomputer are at their peak with 10^21 floating operations per second. 2045. Human interaction with robots becomes ubiquitous. The technological singularity is said to be in the years 2042 to 2045. 2049. Established lunar base allows commercialization of space through globalization. 2051. Further discoveries of lifelong other except planets. 2067. First antimatter spacecraft. Test or run on antimatter proportion for the first time. 2080. Self-driving cars at peak usage. 2090. 10 years of planning to consider terraforming Mars in our solar system. 22nd century. Permanent settlements on the surface of the Moon and Mars. Regular crewed missions to gas joints in our solar system. Massive asteroid mining operations. Various interstellar probes sent. Space tourism is thriving. Travel to moons and celestial bodies become more common. 2130. Humans integrate with technology even in the brain. Transhumanism at its peak. The goals of previous futurists becomes realized as new class of humans appears. The actual name of these species is various and debated previously and in 2130. 2137. French Guinea region in Earth's space elevator comes into effect. Space elevator is controlled by artificial intelligence. 2170. Dozens of human settlements on the surface of the Moon. 7% of the Moon is colonized by humans from Earth. 2180. High-tech cities and self-cleaning roads. High innovation has led to greener, clean air and a less than a dozen megacities. 23rd century, nanotechnology, virtual reality and digital mortality all available. 2230, antimatter propulsion allows to humans to realize humanity as a spacefaring interstellar civilization. 2310, Type 1 Kardashev civilization status of the Earth. 2310, a high-tech artificial intelligence colonizes inner solar system by asteroid mining, space tourism, and more explorations in the Milky Way galaxy. 2500, terraforming Venus and Mars completely abandoned. More cyborgs are integrated into society. 2600, massive cleanup of plastics in the oceans. 2800, silent probe sent in space. 3100, Type 2 civilization Kardashev status. Dyson swarms or Dyson sphere plans are revealed. Orbital space stations and artificial worlds archives various data of all citizens previously and in the present time.